Greetings. Act as if you can have it all, because you definitely can. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because everything is already here. But most people fail to realize it. And that is why they act the way they act. You see, the way you act have to do with how you think, how you see yourself. Now, if you realize that everything exists within you, if you realize that everything is mental, everything is psychological, everything was first a thought, it was first an idea, it was first imagined. If you understand that, then you'll know that you are physical, you are psychological, and that you are spiritual. For your spirit having a human experience. Therefore, you're limitless. You're not limited. So when I say act as if you can have it all, I am saying to act in faith. Faith is you being loyal to that which you do not see. Now, the reason why you need to stay loyal to that which you do not see is because your true essence of who you are is invisible. You see, you have a physical self and a non-physical self. So I'm saying, be faithful to your non-physical self. Your non-physical self is what leads you and guides you every day. And you refer to that still small voice within as your intuition, which is your inside teacher. So my brother, my sister, when you realize that as it is within, so is it without, you would realize that everything that is valuable to you on the outside, that it can be found within. Therefore, if you go within yourself and find that which you desire to express in this three-dimensional physical world of matter, and you understand that your feeling and your emotion is what will register such a desire on your subconscious mind, and it will be transmuted into whatever you desire in this three-dimensional world, you will definitely get to work, because you know and you have the knowledge. But only when you apply the knowledge and you get the experience, you really know. So my brother, my sisters, you have to act a certain way when you get the knowledge of self. When you get the knowledge of the Christ consciousness that is within you. For many people, it's there lying dormant. And you are the one who have to activate it. Only when you activate that power within you, then you will realize that you can use it to achieve your every desire. That was what happened to Neville Goddard when he met Abdullah. And when he had his burning desire, and he had no work, he had no money, but he wanted to make a trip to Barbados to be with his family. And Abdullah said to him, "You are already in Barbados. You travel to Barbados first class." Could you imagine you living in a time of a Great Depression, a time whereby you have no work, you have no money, and you want to travel, and someone is telling you have already traveled and you have traveled first class? Well, it would take first class thinking mindset for you to rest in that. In other words, for you to really hold to it and believe it. But in order to do that, Neville had to act as if. So he would sleep in his mother's home in Barbados while he resided in New York. That was he acting as if. He was acting as if he had money. He was acting as if he had already traveled first class and now sleeping in his mother's home in Barbados. Well, it's the same thing you have to do if you want to attract money in your life. You have to act as if you already have that money. You want to live in a certain environment, a certain home. You have to act as if you are already living in that place. You want to drive a certain vehicle. You have to act as if you already have that vehicle and you're driving in that vehicle. But of course, you have to learn to creep before you walk. And you have to learn to walk before you run. Okay, and then when you learn those foundational things and you have a solid foundation, then there could be some quantum leap or some quantum jumps. You see, sometimes when people get this kind of knowledge, they want to make some big jumps, but they never really exercise their mind to a certain level and build a solid foundation. So, my brother, my sisters, what I'm saying, everything that you would ever desire is already yours. But you have to learn to act as if you are already in possession of whatever you desire. Act as if you can have it all. Because you definitely can have whatever you desire in this world. All you need to do is focus your energy. And you have to have a definite intention. And once you have that definite intention with that burning desire, and you want to use whatever you want to acquire for the betterment of yourself and the rest of humanity, then I do not see any reason why you should doubt or have fear or guilt or shame or even giving up. You have to be consistent. Consistency is you operating in faith. Therefore, my brother, my sisters, I'm saying to you, seek to know exactly what you want and start to act that way. Which means your attitude is very important. That attitude will determine whether you have self-discipline and whether you're willing to have self-mastery, because all of that would mean you willing to sacrifice something to have everything. You see, for example, if a man wants to become a doctor or a lawyer or even a dentist, there's a certain amount of years that is required for them to study to become a doctor or a lawyer or to become a dentist. I think to become a dentist, they might be studying up to 9 years. A doctor might be up to 7 years and so on. A lawyer might be around 7 years and so on too. Okay, I'm not 100% sure, but it's just to show you that it is a sacrifice they would have to make. And you would have to sacrifice your lower self, which is your animal self that is keeping you in the 5 senses based on the things that you can see, taste, touch, and smell. And you have to start to tap into the 6th sense. And you have to start to believe more in your non-physical self. That is why you have to act a certain way if you want to live a certain way. And those actions can only come based on your belief. Okay, most people are blocking their blessing because of their belief. For example, Neville had that kind of belief, having grown up in the Caribbean. And if you know his story well, he was beaten unmercifully by his teacher because he quoted a scripture that says, take up thy bed and walk. But in the Bible it says, take up thy couch and walk. All of that was to show us how certain beliefs can keep you in hell. Because hell is you living in that lower place. That place where you feel limited. That place where you feel stuck. That place whereby you become more of the borrower than the lender. Where you live beneath instead of you live above. So, my brother, my sisters, as I come to a close here, I want to remind you that the rich ruleth over the poor. and the borrower is a slave to the lender. Get rid of the slave mind by becoming a lender and not a borrower. And you can only do that if you learn to love yourself, believe in yourself, and embrace yourself. Because it takes self-love first for you to act the way you're supposed to act. When I talk about act as if you don't have self-love, and if you do not have a thorough understanding of law and order in terms of the laws that governs all of the universe and the laws that governs humanity, and you understanding energy, vibration, and frequency, and you getting as much knowledge as possible concerning your identity being your divinity, and you looking inwardly instead of outwardly, these things seems very hard for you to do. But when you have that deep self-love and that deep conviction of who you are, you'll definitely walk the walk and become more of a doer. Therefore, act as if you can have it all, and all will definitely come to you. All your desires would be fulfilled. So with that being said, my brother and sisters, I want to thank you very much for listening to me. I want to say to you, if this is the very first time that you're listening to me, what I'm saying, if it makes sense, if it really resonates with you, and you haven't subscribed already, I'm definitely encouraging you to subscribe, to like, to comment, or to share this video. Also, if you like to follow me on Instagram, you like to follow me on TikTok, you can definitely follow me at Black Mad Guru. And I will also encourage you to get my latest book, which is called The Secret Vagina, Mystery of the Virgin Birth. Also, I will encourage you to get a spiritual recipe for better living. And all my other books that are available on Amazon, I'll definitely encourage you to check them out. Books like Meditate to Eradicate Poverty, How to Turn Water into Wine, Your Mood is Your Fortune, and much more. Also, if you'd like to be a part of my Patreon community, you're most welcome. However, for people donating $20 or more, you have access to my course that is called The Inner Sun Science and Technology to Create Your Reality Consciously. And along with that is a bonus course on self-concept. So my last encouragement to you is to make sure you check out all of the links that are down below and let your intuition lead you and guide you into what to do. So with that being said, I just want to say peace, love you all, I'm out.